This live stream just has me speechless. It was mediocre. The anniversary live stream for Honkai Star Rail. The second anniversary live stream for Honkai Star Rail 3.2. It's just, oh my god. It was quite laughable if you ask me. This live stream was laughable because of how much they yapped and just how much they just did not add. They barely actually no, I don't even think they added any quality of life changes. They barely did. Barely any quality of life changes, which is very bad in my opinion, because I think quality of life is honestly one of the most, if not the most important aspect of a game, especially in a gacha game. So they barely added any of that. Barely added any content outside of story. The story content that they did add was just not interesting in the slightest. They added like a couple new, no, I think just one new enemy and that's it. And then I know people are gonna ask about the whole Castorice passive. They didn't fix it. Nope, still in the game. They just mentioned it and then brushed it off. They tried to sweep it under the rug. That's it. But, oh man, this was just not a good live stream. But we're going to be covering everything that they did show in the live stream, even though it was a disappointment. But man, it's just, oh my god, it's just, it's laughable, man. I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. Just, they could have done so much better. Like, the downfall of this game really needs to be studied because at the beginning, they were cooking with this game. I liked it, but then come like towards like 3.0 to 2.8, you notice that they're like slowing down a little bit with the overall quality with the game. You notice that they're slowing down and think maybe it's just a one patch. Come 3.0, they just stopped caring. They just don't care anymore. So I just want to know what happened. But I'm gonna save that for another video before I get off topic. So anyway, in the live stream, they showed Castorice, and even though I am hating on her for a global passive, which is bad, I just want to say that, it's very bad for the precedent that's going to set for the game in the future. But I will admit, her animations do look tough. Definitely the best animations of the game, man. And one thing I do like about her animation, let me see if I can find it. Like the dragon itself, the dragon's attacks look cool. But this attack right here, her skill, I'm not going to lie. Whenever I see this, it just reminds me of that one attack that Goku Black does in the Future Trunks saga where he summons the rift and then all the clones of him come out. That's why it's my favorite animation in the game, because it reminds me of Goku Black's animation and it looks cool. But anyway, for Castorice, you don't want to skip her. Let me say this now, if you're planning on skipping Castorice, don't. Because you are actually going to be at a disadvantage. Like no matter how you look at it, you are objectively going to be at a disadvantage if you skip Castorice. And you want to know why? Let me show you. So as you can see, when Stell dies right here, Castorice, her passive is, she's going to revive your teammates, which doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad, right? But then, it gets to a point, they said, even when Castorice isn't part of your team, you can still activate this ability. Why? Why would you add this into the game? Like, I'm fine if it was just a team thing. Like, if it was a team thing, I personally wouldn't care. I would be completely fine with it. But the fact that you just need to pull her on your account and she'll still revive your teammate, it's just horrible. It's stupid. It just sets a predatory and just unhealthy precedent for the game. It's horrible. And the thing that has me worried the most is what's going to happen when they add like future characters who have this passive. Like what if a character gets added where it's like, oh, if you have set character on your team, you'll never be able to lose like skill points or something. Or set character B, when they get it, they're going to be like, oh, if you have this character on your account, you're going to be able to never lose ult charge and you'll have permanent ults or something stupid like that. And it honestly has me worried too, because when the Fake Lab happens, which I don't even know what's going to happen with this, considering they've barely even touched on it, and this was announced like almost a year ago at this point. When the fake characters come out, are they gonna have global passives too? Which is one thing that I'm honestly worried about, because they're not only are they exclusive units, which is rare, they're gonna be rare, but it's gonna force you to pull for them if they have global passives, which is very bad and very predatory, which is what I don't like. So I'm still hoping that this collab is still saved. Even though I'm not really a Fate fan, I am still hyped for this collab because it's collab. Who doesn't like collabs? So I'm just still hoping that the fake characters don't have a global passive, which, oh my god, it's just, oh my god, this global passive, man, it's so stupid. They really should have just removed it, or just reworked it, because I think global passives in a gacha game, completely stupid. Like, not even Dragon Ball Legends, you heard me, Dragon Ball Legends, I don't even think they would do something as stupid as this. And the fact that Genshin Impact hasn't even done anything like this before is saying something too. And it's Genshin, so that's saying something too. But anyway, back to Castorice. So pretty much she's just a remembrance character where she's going to be attacking by pretty much taking your teammate's HP. And when she takes your opponent's HP, she's her and her dragon that she summons, because she's also a remembrance path. When she steals your teammate's HP, she's also going to be getting stronger, and her dragon will also be getting stronger, and they'll be doing more damage, which isn't bad. But overall, you're really just going to want to pull for Castorice because of her global passive, but as a unit, she is still very good. But her global passive, you're really going to want to go for her because of this. And I'm going to say this now. If you don't get Castorice in the time of you playing the game when her banner's up, delete the game. I'm not kidding when I say that, delete the game, because you're going to be at a disadvantage. So if you don't pull Castorice, delete the game until the next character with a global passive comes out, because it's honestly just frightening and honestly sad at this point to see what they're going to do with global passives. Oh my god. Dude, it's really getting me mad now. I'm not even going to talk about Castorice anymore, but to wrap it up, Castorice, she does look good. I am going to go for her, and if I don't get her, I'm going to delete the game. She does look like a very cool character to play, and her animation's easily the best in the game. But anyway, next up we got Anaxa. And Anaxa, his animations, they look cool, but Anaxa, he really doesn't compare to Castorice. It's honestly kind of laughable what they gave Anaxa, because his kit isn't bad. I actually do like his kit. It's just like, he shouldn't have been an Air Edition. That's the problem. But anyway, so for Anaxa, what he's going to do is whenever you use pretty much a basic attack or a skill, he's going to add a weakness implant to pretty much every enemy on the team. As you can see right here, when he hits the enemy right here, he just added a weakness onto them. It's all random, you can't choose, which is completely fine. So in short, he's pretty much just a better Silverwolf on crack. And honestly, I kind of wish that they didn't do this to Anaxa, because I honestly wish they should have just saved this for like Silverwolf. I'm just going to call it an easy A, because that's the best way that I can describe it. So when she gets her easy A, eventually when they do buff her, they should have saved it for Silverwolf. But anyway, just Anaxa's whole kit, it's not bad, it's still good. Do I think you should go for him? If you want to go for him, go ahead, but I don't really think he's needed. And honestly, I don't see why they made him an Air Edition. His kit doesn't really feel like an Air Edition. It honestly feels like they could have just made him an Agility. It feels more like an Agility kit trapped in just an Air Edition character, so I really just don't see the vision as why they put him for Air Edition. But then anyway, his ult. So not only is his animation for his ult cool, but he just freezes characters in time. I'm not kidding. So not only is it going to be weakness implanted just about every weakness in the game onto an enemy, he's also going to be freezing them in time. You heard me? You see? They're all just frozen in time. So Anaxa, he looks like a very cool character. Am I going to go for him? I don't really see... I don't think I'm going to go for him, because I don't really have a use for him. But if you want to go for Anaxa, go ahead. But before you get Anaxa, make sure you go for Castorice. And then the banners. Okay, the banners, this is another thing I want to talk about. So as you can see, we have Castorice's banner, which is... It's nice, yeah, as you can see with her and her Lycone. That's one. Her art is really good. I just want to see this again. And one thing I do kind of want to point out, I kind of find it funny how she looks very similar to Amelia from Year Zero. That's one thing I find funny. And then her banner is stacked. Like, look at this. So, alongside Castorice, Ting Yun, she's getting her rerun. Zhao Shu, he's getting a rerun. And then Acheron, she's getting a rerun. Now, all these choices here I'm fine with, except Acheron. It's just like, Acheron is not a bad unit. She's still a very good unit. I'm just kind of questionable on why it's Acheron, because I feel like compared to most of the DPS in the game, she's been power crept a little bit, so I don't know why they're doing Acheron again, but I don't really have a problem with it. Overall, these choices right here, I'm completely fine with them. When I do get Castorice, I'm going to try and see if I can get Ting Yun and Zhao Shu. I already have Acheron, so I don't really need to go for it, but hopefully I can come out in phase 1 with Castorice, Zhao Shu, and Ting Yun. Hopefully I can, and if I'm lucky. Hopefully. And then for Anaxa's banner, they low-key just gave him the short end of the stick for this, because just guess what's being ran alongside with Anaxa. I'll wait. You have your answer? Alright, well, if you said Dr. Ratio, you're correct. And if you're thinking anyone else, nope, it's just Dr. Ratio. The character that was given for free, who has been power crept already, is being ran alongside Anaxa. You heard me. Dr. Ratio is the only character being ran alongside Anaxa. I just find that quite funny how they're giving just casters everything and they're just treating Anaxa like trash. So in 3.2, the first event they're adding is just a new pet event, which it looks cool. I'm definitely going to do it, but the reward you get for it is pretty cool though, because once you do finish the event, they pretty much give you the pet from the event that you can use in the overworld. And I'm glad they're adding more pets like this, because it's been a while since we've gotten an overworld pet. Like, we've only gotten one so far. So I'm honestly glad that we're getting another one. Then this other event that they're adding, it's just another combat event, which I like the combat events. This combat event, this one's definitely pretty cool, so I'm excited for this one. Then they're also adding let me see if I can find it. they're adding like another Monopoly event, which is it's pretty much the event from the first anniversary where you were going around the board collecting the properties and all that. It's pretty much just this event, and I personally like the Monopoly event from the first event, so I'm glad to see it return again. It's not exactly the same as Monopoly event, but these style of events, they're definitely fun, so I'm really glad to see this return. And then for the anniversary, they're also doing the same thing that they did last time, where they're having the 7-day login where you can get 20 tickets, which I do find pretty cool. They're actually giving something, but still not going to get rid of the fact that they're adding that whole global passive thing, but at least we're getting something in return, even though it's not much. But I do want to point out that this art looks very cool, though. This art is actually tough as hell. They're adding this. They're pretty much adding like a whole new character exchange shop. And in concept, I actually don't mind this. They could do it it's pretty much similar to like Dokkan, where pretty much in Dokkan, where they give you pity coins whenever you summon, and you can save up those coins to exchange for a copy of like a new character or a set or of a different character. They should have done it like how it is in Dokkan, but the fact that they didn't is one thing that annoys me. So in theory, I'm not mad with this whole concept. I'm actually fine with it. It's just they should have made it more like Dokkan, where if you summon, you get like, I forgot what it's called, what the exchange material is called for when you pull multiple dupes of a character. They should have made it like that, where when you have enough of the things, the character exchange material, you can just use that to exchange for a character. That's how they should have done it, instead of just introducing a whole new exchange system. But the characters that you can exchange are Luocha and Ranmei, and I'm gonna be real, I'm surprised they're actually putting two very good characters on this banner. Like, I was expecting characters that have already been power crafted already, but no, we're getting Luocha, who is still very good, by the way. Arguably the best. Actually, no, he's not the best healer. That's still Linkshot, but Luocha's still very good, so if you don't have him, I recommend you go for him. Ranmei, she's still not as good as Robin or Sunday. She's still a very good support. She's still very good on the break team. So if you don't have Ranmei, if you want her for Firefly or Boot Hill or Rappa, if you still don't have Ranmei, I still suggest you should go for her. And if you already have both these two, you could either just save the token that you get from this, or you can just go for copies, but I'm definitely gonna go for a copy of Ranmei. And then they're updating the standard banner, I forgot to add. So they're adding Sela, Blade, and Fu Xuan, which surprised me because Fu Xuan, I actually still think she's still a very good option. So I think out of all the characters here, you're definitely going to want to go for Fu Xuan. You're definitely going to want her the most because she's still a very good option, like in the current meta. She's no event tree, but Fu Xuan's still a very good character. So if you can get Fu Xuan from this banner, I really do suggest that you try to get Fu Xuan from this. But anyway, so Sela, Blade, and Fu Xuan, they're going to be added to the standard banner, and they're going to allow you to pretty much pick whichever character you want to lose to like your 50-52 when you're summoning from this banner. And also adding a new shard for where you can exchange for Lycones, this Lycone memory shard. Now, I don't really have a problem with this. I still think this is fine. All of Lycones here, they're all fine. But Ranmei's, Luocha's, and Fu Xuan's Lycone, they're very good, so you definitely want to go for them. You're going to want them the most. But overall, I'm fine with this Lycone memory shard. And then, other than that, there's one more thing I wanted to add. Silverwolf, Blade, Kafka, and Jingliu, they will be receiving buffs in 3.4, but the fact is, they didn't touch on it. This is all they said. That Silverwolf, Blade, and Kafka, and Jingliu, they're going to be receiving buffs. That's it. They didn't say how the system's going to work. They just said they're just going to be receiving buffs. They really should just went more in depth on like what buff they're going to get, like, and how the system is going to work. Like, is it going to be like Easy A's from Dokkan, or is it going to work like Zenkai's from Dragon Ball Legends? So I really think they should have went more in depth on how these buffs are going to work, but at least they gave an update on like when the buffs are going to come out though, so I'm glad about that. But they really should have gave more information on how these buffs are going to work. Overall, this live stream was kind of mediocre if you ask me. This was like a 4 to 5 out of 10. Like, the content that's being added, it's not bad, it's just they could have done much better. And the stuff that is being implemented into the game later on, like the Castorice Global Passive, which I'm definitely going to talk about in a different video, and the Easy A, I'm just going to call them the Easy A. The Easy A system that they barely touched up on, I'm going to talk about that in another video, but they didn't give information about the Easy A, and they didn't give information about the whole Castorice team passive either. They just said, oh, she has a team passive a global passive where even if she's not on your team, she can revive your allies, which I still think is pretty stupid, and how it's just going to honestly ruin the future of the game. So overall, the second anniversary for Honkai Star Rail, it's really just not looking all that exciting. I remember last year when I was for the first anniversary, I was actually very excited for the first anniversary, and the first anniversary lived up to the hype. Now the second anniversary, honestly kind of feels like a downgrade. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, like, subscribe, and if you disagree or if you agree with anything I said, comment it down below, and I will see you on the next video.